Hey, folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And lately, we've been looking at cover bands from around the world. Sometimes they're family bands. Sometimes they're just a motivated group of kids. But it's been a real blast lately checking some of those groups out. And we have another one today that we want to break in called the Ario Brothers. They are from the Philippines. It's 5 brothers who have done quite a number of different types of covers and now actually tour for a living as musicians. So good for them. They've been active ever since 2009, and we're going to watch them today doing Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits. Now, we've actually checked out Dire Straits doing that song before on this channel. In fact, it was part of an Ali's Choice video, one of the warning, saying that she wished she had written this song. So I thought, well, that's an endorsement. But people have also asked us to check this band out, and I thought this was a perfect opportunity. So, Adrian, what have you thought about these bands that we've come across lately that are doing covers of older songs?
They're pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So we've seen recently, we've seen some, well, not only professional, but just amazing work done, by these kids.
Yeah, I agree. So these guys are not kids anymore. However, just the fact that they're a group of brothers, I figure it's worth taking a look at them. I think at this point, as a matter of fact, we've got ages for them. They're now between the ages of 35 and 25. Now, of course, they've been doing it for 16 years. So that means that the youngest one would have been about 9 when they started, but we're actually going to look at something that's not that old. I think this is about 4 years old, if memory serves from the... So we like the song. Heck, we even have a version of the song with a parrot doing the vocals. Maybe I'll put that in the cards. But for now, why don't we check this out and see what we think?
1, 2, 3, 4. Get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime sound of the river is stopping to hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie, double for time. You feel alright when you hear the music ring. Step inside, but you don't see too many faces. Coming in on the rain to hear the jazz go down. Competition in other places, but the horns, they blowing that sound. Way on down south, way on down south, London time. You check out Guitar George, he knows all the chords, but it's regular rhythm, he doesn't wanna make it cry or sing. Said an old guitar is all he can afford when he gets up under the lights to play his thing. And Harry doesn't mind if he doesn't make the scene. He's got a daytime job, he's doing alright. He can play the honky-tonk like anything, saving it up Friday night with the Sultans, with the Sultans of Swing. And the crowd of young boys, they're fooling around in the corner. dress their best brown baggies in the flat foam sole. They don't give a damn about any trumpet playing band. It ain't what they call rock and roll. In the Sultans, they play Creole. Up to the microphone. Say the last, it's just a time bell ring. Good night, now it's time to go home. And make it fast with one more thing. We're the Sultans. We are the Sultans of Swing. Swing.
Excellent showmanship there. And I'm going to put that screen up again later. But what were your thoughts on that, Adrian?
If I didn't know better, I'd guess this was Dire Straits.
Yeah, you know, the lead singer and lead guitar player there really has his Mark Knopfler down. I mean, he sounds just like him. And I love that he's a finger picker as well, just like Mark Knopfler has the same feel because he's able to play with his fingers on that. It looked like he had an Epiphone kind of version of the Gibson SG that he was playing.
Yeah, that was my guess as well. Epiphone SG, and I think the bass was was it a Hummer bass? It's like one of those violin type basses that Paul McCartney used to have.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're right about that. And in fact, if you noticed, they had up, well, first of all, the drummer had on a T-shirt of Abbey Road, the album cover. And they also had a print on the wall of an alternate picture from the Abbey Road, from that particular photo shoot. Only 6 shots were done for that photo shoot, by the way. That's 1969 for you. Can you imagine going to the trouble of a photo shoot in the middle of a road and only taking 6 pictures? Today, that's preposterous, but today it's free. So anyway, and it was impromptu, I think. Anyway, yeah, and as a matter of fact, let me put back up the share here. I want to point a few things out. First of all, so if you notice the drummers, the bass drum head there, that is actually stylized to look like the Beatles logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. Wow.
Yeah. Notice also, I believe the drummer's kit is just about set up the way that Ringo's kit is set up. Ringo had a small 4-piece kit. He had one tom over here, and then he also had a floor tom. And I think he only had the 3 cymbals, hi-hat, crash, ride. So it would not surprise me if they actually go out and play Beatles covers as one of their gigs. That would not surprise me. So the Hohner bass makes sense. The T-shirt makes sense. And here's the print up here.
Yeah. I'm not sure I can ID the other guitar, but I suspect it's a Rickenbacker.
Yeah. He did a very nice job of support there. And also, he's got a keyboard in front of him that I can't help but notice is a Roland Juno D5, I believe, which I think is the same keyboard that Mission Souls, one of the other bands we look at now, uses as their keyboard. So I found that interesting as well. Look at the tiny little space for the drummer here. and it works, But I don't think I've ever seen a drummer crammed into such a small space before. So even on the small stages, when you get on them. So good work with these guys. I love the guitar on the wall and everything. Looks like a really cool place to hang out. They've got their YouTube plaque up there. Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. It looks like they are serious about this. And they must do quite a number of different types of covers. Not just Mark Knopfler, Dire Straits stuff.
He can do other types of voices. That's a huge credit, I think.
Yeah. Well,
pretty interesting to see these guys playing something else, too.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like they've gotten some good gigs, too. They had a gig in one of the smaller rooms at Madison Square Garden, I think the theater, in 2014. An event that included Jennifer Hudson and Pentatonics and the Plain White T's. These are big names in the music world. So cool. Very cool for them. Look at this. It says the band performs renditions of music from the 50s to the 70s, that of the Beatles, the Beach Boys, the Dave Clark Five, Bee Gees, Gary Lewis and the Playboys, Letterman, America, the Ventures, and of course, Dire Straits. Very, very cool. We may have to check out something else of theirs. I would love to hear from all of you what you think the next song would be that maybe we would look at for this band. Keeping in mind, we may only do, 2 or 3 of any given band. We're kind of shuffling through bands right now, listening to kind of this genre of people learning music that is from a different time from them and then going out and performing it, especially if they're doing it so spot on like that.
Yeah, I'm just impressed by, just how well they sound like the original.
All right, well, folks, why don't you let us know what you thought of this, what your general impressions were, if you've ever seen it before, if you've seen a better Dire Straits Sultans of Swing cover, leave that below for us. Maybe we'll take a look. It is one of those classic songs. I actually don't mind hearing several different versions of it. But and let us know what else you would point us to from the REO brothers themselves. And we do have a few other bands we want to hit upon. So if you've left other suggestions before, rest assured we do look at the comments and take notes. And so we'll just see what we can do. So with that, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed the presentation, please subscribe. All right. Thanks so much for joining us. By the way, we have a second channel, Modern Rock Talk, where we put interview reviews. And so if these guys have ever done an interview you think we should see, let us know about that too, and maybe I'll feature it on the other channel. In the meantime, go take a look. And thanks so much for joining us today on this one. We'll catch you on the next one. All right, take care, folks.
See you all later.